Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Tales from My Backlog series, where it has been 3 months since I've actually posted. Actually, no, by the time this comes out, it probably would have been 4 months since the last time I did a Tales from My Backlog series. Um, and that's, my own fault. Also, that's gone lopsided. I hate the way that that's doing now. I apologize. Don't know why that's doing that. I'll have to have another look at this ring light in a second. But yeah, it's been 4 months since I last done one. The last Tales from the Backlog series I done was the for Alien Resurrection, all the way back in March. We are back once again to review Creed 2 as a first time watch. So in case you don't know, about 2 years ago I sat down and started to watch through the Rocky franchise for the very first time, and I did it sporadically. I didn't do it all at once. I did 3 movies in 1 year, the last 3 in another year, and this year I've started with the Creed franchise. So back in February, I reviewed the first Creed movie, and I liked it. Even though it is basically a remake of the first movie, before remakes of popular media became more common knowledge, not common knowledge, but commonly done. And I still, and I enjoyed it. And so going into Creed 1, let alone this movie, I knew next to nothing about this franchise. I knew that a lot of people liked it the same way that they love the Rocky franchise, since it is a continuation and Sylvester Stallone does appear in the first 2 films. I know for a fact that he doesn't appear in Creed 3. I know little bits about Creed 3, and that is simply because as I was starting my YouTube journey, Creed 3 came out obviously 2 years ago in 2023. And so, yeah, I basically went into this blind, not knowing who was the big bad of this movie and what was the story that they were going to tell. And just as and I shit you not, this really did happen. As I clicked start of the movie, I got thinking, I wonder if they're ever going to, do where Creed is going to go up against a descendant of Drago, or even Drago himself from the fourth one, which is my third favorite in the the Rocky franchise. Because for me, my favorite, including Creed here, my favorite Rocky movie is obviously the first one. No, Rocky 5, then Rocky 1, then Rocky 4. And spoiler, this one is gonna go under Rocky 4 for me. Because I actually did really love this movie. Once I saw that oh no, they actually are doing it for the second movie. After thinking to myself, I wonder if they're actually going to do that. And they did for this one, because again, like I said, I went in with next to zero knowledge of this movie. And I just got thinking to myself, because I was thinking about the Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid franchise, how they would bring back people from the past. And so that got me thinking, like, I wonder if Creed is ever going to do that. Because again, I knew next to nothing. But I absolutely loved it. And I loved the fact that they got Dolph Lundgren, I probably butchered that, back to reprise his role as Captain Ivan Drago. Not only that, I'm pretty sure I have the cast list pulled up here because I'm terrible with names. I have my laptop here, so of course I'm going to utilize that to make sure I'm getting names correct. But Bridget Nielsen, brought back as Ludmila Vobat Drago, obviously, which is now the new Drago's mother. That we're introduced to the son of Ivan Drago. I'm trying to still get this right. Hold on. I apologize about that. I had to recenter this. So what about this movie did I love? Well, obviously the fact that it is the sequel to the proper sequel to Rocky 4. Where Adonis has to go up, is essentially forced to go up against the new, the son of Igor, Ivan Drago, Victor Drago. And he's just as mean and as powerful as his father, because there are two matches in this, which to me also kind of emulated Rocky versus Apollo, how they both had two matches where Apollo basically, Adonis has to fight Victor twice. The first time, Victor gets disqualified, which seems very reminiscent of the very first Rocky film, where even though there was Apollo was always going to be named champion, it kind of felt like a bit like that to me. And then, of course, the second fight was again reminiscing of the second Rocky film, but also paying massive homage to Rocky Four, which is like I said, that's what this movie is about. And I love that. And I love the fact that, Rocky just refused to train him for this fight, but Rocky still watched it, and the look of fear and grief that he was stricken with, because again, Rocky still holds that grief of not throwing in the towel for when Apollo went up against Ivan. And that's evident when he was watching Adonis fight Drago, and that he got the seven colors of shit beat out of him, broken rib here and there, and it was a brutal fight, just like against his father versus the two fathers for facing each other was absolutely brutal. And then there's a couple of montages throughout this movie. Adonis and his now wife Bianca have a child named Amara in this movie, which again is reminiscent to Rocky 2 for me. There's definitely some callbacks to the Rocky franchise, and I love that. As a new Rocky fan over the past 2 years, I enjoy the callback that the first movie, the first couple, not even just the first movie, but all the Rocky movies seem to be getting. And then because as well, Rocky reveals that he hasn't even seen his son in a while. I can't remember if that was mentioned in the first one or not, but in the end of the movie, we do see that he goes to see his son, because the last time we seen his son was in Rocky Balboa. So it's nice to see that he goes to visit his son and actually gets to see his grandson for a change. And I'm happy about that, because when they had the scene where in the hospital when the child was born and Rocky goes up to the payphone, he pulls out his little black book, or just his address book, with his son's phone number, and I'm like, okay, please call your son, get back, try to get close to your son again, and that doesn't happen, and I'm like, but then at the end of the movie, he shows up, like, because I initially thought that was just Rocky going home, but no, it actually turns out he was going to see his son, and he gets to see his grandson, and the grandson has a Nintendo Switch. I'm like, oh yeah, this definitely came out in 2018, or actually, I should say, it came out in 2018, but it was filmed during 2017, and what came out in 2017? The Nintendo Switch. So even though you only see it for a slight little millisecond, I knew instantly that it was, of course, the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It's definitely as I said, out of the first two Creed films, this is obviously the best. And then, as in terms of including it within the whole Rocky franchise, I put it as my fourth favorite Rocky film. Behind Rocky 5, which I know a lot of people don't like Rocky 5. I really enjoyed Rocky 5. I thought it was absolutely amazing, getting a slice of life type of way, and having Rocky be a coach for once instead of actually being the fighter. And yeah, I like I said, then it goes Rocky 1, Rocky 4, and now Creed 2 amongst those lists. So that has been my review of Creed 2. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are actually on the movie as a whole, and as the franchise as a whole, because I know they will be coming out with a Creed 4 at some point. I'm not entirely sure when. I think it's next year or the year after. Hopefully, Sly Stone will be back for that one. But yeah, that is going to wrap this one up. So let's see what I have planned then for the next video. So the next video is going to be a return of the book reviews, where I'm going to go back to the Vampire Mountain for the the Saga of Darren Shan Hunter's Saga, where I'll be reviewing book 7, 8, and 9. Which I'm filming this on the 21st of June. I've already done this video has been on the back burner for a while now, because I've been reading that throughout the beginning parts of the year, so that's already done. But yeah, that's going to be the next video that comes out on the 11th. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all on the very next upload.